Hello, Diane here again. I showed you a glimpse of this book cover in my studio tour, if you watched that. So I really haven't had a chance to do any work on the journal today. I had done this last night, but I did stitch around the picture, stitch the picture to the black cardstock, and then I stitched a little bit of lace and ribbon and a little bit of trim here. That's all I've done. So I have my vintage wallpaper and a couple little bits of lace laid where I want them, and I took a picture of it with my phone. So now I can now I can take the picture off. Now it gets a little tricky because some of the pieces, this one is on the page but also on the picture. Well, I guess that can be done after I glue this on. I thought I had one that was kind of behind the picture and on the picture, but maybe I don't. So I'll take this one off and remove the picture, and then try to get these Mod Podged on right where they are. This is a larger book than I normally do, so a 12 by 12 excuse me, 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper folded in half will be too small. And of course the other kinds of paper that I use will be too small. So I'm going to have to do some sewing and gluing and stuff like that. So we'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out, and I'm kind of excited to do this book, but once again I'm at the beginning of a new project and kind of feeling my way, trying to figure out exactly what it's going to look like. I have an idea of what I want, but usually things change a little bit. You know, once you get going, things don't always turn out looking the way you thought. But you just kind of go with it. So these are vintage pieces of wallpaper. Some of them came from a little scrap pack that I got from Kalina Bean on YouTube. And some, well, I think this might be the only piece right now. This piece up here are pieces that I found at flea markets. I think all these other pieces were from my scrap pack. Those scrap packs are fun because you can oh goodness, I'm sorry. You can get a variety. You don't get big pieces. That's why it's called a scrap pack. But you get a variety, and then you can tear the pieces into smaller pieces, and they go a long ways. So this one I love, and I've torn it into 2 pieces, so it'll be maybe 3. Yeah, 3 pieces. So it'll be in several places in this little collage. So what I did, this was a green cover, you can kind of see it right there. And I just took some regular craft paint, acrylic craft paint, and I had a little bit of off-white and a little bit of white, and I just kind of spread them over the book cover. I didn't try to like coat it evenly, and then I took a baby wipe and scrubbed it off. I took a picture and I'm not even looking at it. Okay. So I just scrubbed the paint off with the baby wipe, and you can still see the green through the paint. And it kind of gives it a shabby, worn look, which I really like. Hopefully my customer will like it. So I'm hoping that I might be able to do a little prayer journal once I figure out what I'm doing with this one, because this one won't have journaling space in it. But I want the prayer journal to have journaling space. So it just depends on how much time I take with this book, whether I get a prayer journal done with it that I can put in my shop. We'll see. I've been wanting to do a prayer journal. I have some of the Tsunami Rose digitals for prayer journals. And if you saw my haul video, you saw the great little book that I got today. Can't wait to use that. Those gorgeous vintage pictures from the Bible. Okay, so this will go here. I'm not going to Mod Podge that on. I'm going to glue it on, and then I can do the rest. This was here. This is up here. I fussy cut these leaves out of one of the Collina Bean wallpapers. Okay, I'm going to get my glue for gluing the picture down. I'm hoping, I have a little fan on the table that's across the room, so I'm hoping that that's not going to interfere with the sound. If it does, then obviously I won't be uploading this video, but I will show you the finished book cover. I think I might as well glue this right where it is. Okay, here comes the glue. Oh, it was leaking while I was Mod Podging. I'm using my Beacon 3-in-1 glue. I don't know what the difference is between the Beacon 3-in-1 and the Beacon Fabri-Tac, but this is a little bit cheaper and it works just great, so I just use this one. All right. I think I'll glue this and then put a little Mod Podge over it so it matches the rest. Maybe I need to let the Mod Podge dry before I glue, because this doesn't seem to want to stick down. So I think I'll let it dry a little bit before I glue the rest of the lace down. I made a copy of this picture. This is the original from the book, but I made a copy of it because I loved it so much. I love the colors, and it's just such a lovely picture. So obviously I made a copy of it after I already had it adhered to the black cardstock, but before I zigzagged around it. Such a pretty picture. Where did I have that one? Right about up here. This piece is vintage. So we have a vintage book page right here, vintage wallpaper, and a piece of vintage lace on the cover. There. Now as long as everything sticks down, the front cover is pretty much decorated. I don't know what else I'll do to it. I don't know if I want to put words or anything on it. I think I just might let it be. I'm going to set this down on the floor on a piece of paper so I don't get Mod Podge on my carpet, and clean off my mat here. I don't usually do this messy stuff on my good mat, but I didn't move it. I have this really gross mat for stuff like that. All right. So next, I guess I will start picking out pages. Since I have my camera set up right here, I'll bring my pages over here and see what we have. I'll probably have to do some copy dyeing in the morning. It's really hot for copy dyeing, but maybe if I get it done early in the morning, it'll be all right. Here's my box of stuff. So I've got my Tsunami Rose. Now these have ledger. Sorry, this box is in the way now. These have ledger, so that's for writing. Oh, sorry. So I'll have to add some decoration or something to these, but I can definitely use these in the prayer journal that I want to make too. There are some cards with scripture verses, but also room for journaling. And it's okay, maybe she would want to do a little journaling. Maybe write about the verse and what it means to her or whatever. So I have those, and then I have the postcards with scripture, and these are not for journaling, so these will be really good for putting on some of the pages to decorate or tucking in pockets. I want the book to be quite interactive, even though it won't be for writing in. You can still pull things out of pockets, flip things open, have things in envelopes and stuff like that. So That's what I'm hoping for, is to have a lot of interactive things. So more postcards. I may have purchased the postcards more than once, because I think I just bought some and I don't know if they're the same ones. More scripture journaling cards. So I have plenty here for several journals, and that's just the Tsunami Rose stuff. Then I have this calendar that I just got at the flea market, or at the Salvation Army today. So, like I said, it's a larger book, so maybe these pages folded might be good with scripture verses on them. I got this today at the Salvation Army too, and I couldn't tell what it was exactly. It was wrapped in plastic. And there were several sets of this. So, but I only bought one because I wasn't sure what they were, and they are laminated cards, so they might be a little heavy. I don't know what I'll do with them, but this is Noah and the Ark, Abraham's family tree, the story of Joseph, things like that. So there were several sets of these. Ooh, I just tipped my Mod Podge cup over. Thankfully nothing came out of it. And let's see. I've got some golden books that I can take pages out of. But I have an old hymnal. Several children's books. I have this embossed piece that I think it was Jill Robertson did this for me a long time ago. Was it you, Jill? It's embossed on there, and she sent me several of these folded coffee dyed things with the same embossed cross with all these words. And then she did some in a clear acetate too, a nice sturdy one. So I'll use those somehow. Oh, I got several of those acetate ones, and then this yellow card. But I bought this pack of paper because it's double-sided, and it was on clearance at Hobby Lobby. It's just a small little set that came with stickers and stuff. And I'm not sure about the colors, so I'll just have to see if it works with everything else. And I got this paper that is not double-sided, and I chose some pages out of it. It's called The Best of Paper Studio. I'm sorry my camera angle isn't great here, and I'm trying to hurry because my daughter texted me a question and I need to answer her. So I've just got some papers that I've chosen. This is the double-sided stuff here, and I'm not sure if the colors are going to work. But some of the paper out of that Best of Paper Studio has religious pages in it. So these are what I'm going to have to copy dye tomorrow. So maybe I can just start picking things out and getting things ready for me to just start working tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching, and depending on the weather, like how hot it is in here, maybe I'll bring you along tomorrow. Just depends on if I can turn my air conditioner off. Have a good night. Bye-bye.